Welcome to another day in the Matrix. Waters above crypto. I'm wishing everyone a beautiful start to your week, and I hope you all had an incredible weekend. The crypto market is continuing to show signs of strength as we get closer to the April new moon, like I mentioned in my last video. To expect a bullish continuation in this market, especially if Bitcoin broke above 45,000, which it did last night into the weekly close. So in today's video, I'll be covering the charts of Bitcoin, Ethereum, and XRP to share some insights on what we can expect as we close out the month of March. Also, it's officially our 1-year anniversary here on this channel. It's been an incredible year together, and I am so grateful for all of your support. I've been getting lots of people reaching out to me about my mastermind course lately, so I decided to run a flash sale on my courses until the end of the month. So if you're interested in getting my course at a discount, I'll be sharing more details about that in a moment. So if you're new here, we do cryptocurrency technical analysis and combine it with Gematria, Numerology, and Astrology to understand these markets. Feel free to subscribe and turn on the bell notification to stay updated on when new videos come out. And make sure to give this video a like and share this channel with other conscious beings to help grow this community. And as you heard earlier, I'm currently running a flash sale on my website until the end of this month. So for those of you that want to learn how to do technical analysis and combine it with Gematria, there will be a link in the description box of this video and in the pinned comment below to my website, watersabovecrypto.com/redpill2022. And that link already has the discount automatically added to the price, so there's no promo code needed at checkout. All you'll need is the link and you'll be able to get my courses with the discount. Again, I appreciate all of your support. 1 year down and many more to come. It's been beautiful to watch this community grow, especially the interactions during our Friday live stream hangouts. And I'm not sure if you guys remember last year, but we closed out the month of March 2021 with me asking you guys to share your red pill moments. So in the comments, I'd love for you to share a red pill moment from 2021 with us. Would be amazing to hear about your highlight of the year. So with that being said, let's take the red pill. So in my last video, I brought up the date of March 27th, and since that date has passed, we've seen what it's done to the markets. That was yesterday, and an incredible weekly close for the crypto market. Over the weekend, we saw a bunch of breakouts across the board. Two of the last coins that I actually invested in about a month or so ago, which were Zilliqa and Digibyte, both pretty much put on over 100% gains in less than 2 days. So it was pretty amazing to see that all come to fruition. Again, in my Patreon, I actually exposed some of the reasons why Zilliqa broke out by the code. We were showing it with Gematria. So it was really amazing. Again, anyone who joins the Patreon, you'll be getting some more exclusive behind the scenes content. Yesterday, I released my newest Red Pill podcast, and I broke down a bunch of Gematria decoding at the start of that podcast. So anyways, in my last YouTube video, I brought up March 27th, and just to quickly recap, the reasons why I was thinking this day would be important was because the date numerology on this day, the way I like to do my date numerology, which is with double digits, you could see 3 plus 27 plus 20 plus 22, giving you that 72, and that 72 comes back to Bitcoin 72. And this is really important because the mirror of 72 is 27. And in the Roman calendar, the original calendar we had before the Gregorian system took over, this calendar puts March as the official first month. So we've been playing around a lot with this number 24 and 27 because that ties back to Jupiter. And this is the year of the tiger. The Chinese New Year started in February, and we've entered the year of the tiger. And the tiger ties to Jupiter because it's the striped planet. So again, that's a little more esoteric and requires a little bit more of a base knowledge understanding of what's going on here, but this channel will help you start to see deeper into the machinations of what's going on here. So a couple other things that we made connections to with this date, not only with that 72 tying back to Bitcoin being 72, But we have here the standard date numerology being 18. So this is just the standard date numerology when you're doing it with single digits and you're not reducing it afterwards. So that gives you 18, and that 18 again ties back to Shemitah. And since this last September, we've entered what is called Shemitah. It is the 7-year cycle practiced in Judaism, and every 7 years we have massive financial chaos. We have lots of volatility. It leads to most of our depressions, market crashes, world wars, restructuring of economy, etc. So we've exposed that about a year ago on this channel. For those of you that have been around, you probably heard me say this term many times. And you could see right there, Shemitah in Chaldean giving you the 18. And this number 18 is very important in Judaism. Also, this date leaving 279 days left in the year, and 2 plus 7 plus 9 also equals 18. Another connection we made is between the start of Shemitah, which was September 7th, 2021, and March 27th, this gives us 201 days. And that 201 we've heard before, like Event 201, which was about 6 months before the C-word pandemic started. And of course, that was all part of Agenda 21. And when you remove the 0 in the rules of numerology, that 201 becomes 21, and that 21 ties back to Saturn. Again, in Judaism, they're calling Shemitah the sabbatical year, and the Sabbath is Saturn, all right? So this is all Saturnalian cult worship, and this is very important that you understand what I'm saying here, because once you see the importance of these numbers and how they're tied in, you'll see what's really running the market. So this date, the 27th, was yesterday, and Bitcoin officially broke out of about a 3-month resistance. And remember, this date numerology being the 18, well, if we take from the day of the breakdown, which was right here around the 5th of January, you could see that right there. So this was the day when we broke down through structure. I'm going to measure from January 5th over to this day that we finally broke out of the structure, and you could see it is 81 days. Okay, look what I'm doing. So after Bitcoin hit the all-time high, it came down to around 47,000. It tried to hold that level, pumped up a little bit, and then actually broke down. The day it broke down through this structure was January 5th. The day that we actually finally recovered above that structural level was yesterday. That total amount of days is 81 days. Again, it's the mirror of the number 18 that we're talking about, and it breaking out on the 18 date numerology. This all tying back to Shemitah, 18, as above, so below. Again, this 81 that we see also ties to Venus, 18, 81, right next to each other, as above, so below. And Venus plays a huge role in all of this. For those of you that are more into astrology, you'll know what I'm saying. We're moving into the month of April, and April comes from Apru, which is Aphrodite, which is Venus. And I exposed this last year when we were able to predict XRP breaking out to over $1 for the first time in several years. And I was using this way of implementing the mythologies through Venus. You know, we were talking a lot about Saturn, Jupiter, Mercury, etc. And once we've seen how this works in the market, we could tie all these numbers together and start to make sense of things for once, you know? So I was bringing up this number 47 and how important it was for Bitcoin. Of course, the day that we broke down from structure at 47K to the day we break back into 47K is 81 days apart, the mirror of 18. And why is this so significant? Because we ended the year at 46K Bitcoin when Satoshi Nakamoto was 46 years old. Now we're approaching April, which is the month of Satoshi's birthday, and he will be turning 47 years old, and Bitcoin is 47K right now. This is all coded in. All right. So this 47 number is so important because 47 is the 15th prime number, and that 15 ties back to Tiger. I'll get into that a little bit later, but you could see that right there, that 15. And this is important because we're in the Chinese New Year of the Tiger. So let's keep this going. I exposed how that resistance level finally broke. It took about 81 days, again, the mirror of 18. And then today would obviously be the 28th of March, which is 202 days apart since Rosh Hashanah started. Now this 202 again becomes the number 22 in the rules of numerology. We're currently in the Hebrew year of 5782, which reduces down to 22. And we're in the Gregorian year of 222. So this is a very important day as well. Again, we've talked about this in the past as well. So now here we are. We're living that day, and the cryptos continue to be bullish. Kind of funny too how Bitcoin is up 1.8% whilst I was exposing that 18 connection. It just shows you how the code works. You know, once you get more dialed into it, you're going to see how it all shows up in your reality as well as you become a better decoder. Now, tomorrow could be something to consider as well because it's going to be the 88th day of the year. Now that 88 is definitely important. The 8 is the Taurus or the Analema, the snake eating its tail. Some of you call it the Ouroboros. That 8 is absolutely important. It's also the infinity symbol. We know that Metaverse, which was Facebook, rebranded, and then now their new logo is basically the infinity symbol. It is the 8. So this is showing you something here, right? Now, this date was kind of just a pass-by date. What I believe is the most important next upcoming date, the one that I'm the most interested in, again, will be the 30th. And the reason why, again, 30 rules of numerology, you're removing that 0, so you're back to 3. So it's the third month, 3, 3, 3, or 33, like 33rd degree Freemason, or the 33rd degree when ice turns to water. It's all about transmutation. This is really important. 32 vertebrae, the 33rd is the pineal gland, or what I call the first eye. So this is important for me because this will be the 89th day of the year. 89 is the 24th prime number, and that 24 again will tie back to Rosh Hashanah, because if you take from the start of Shemitah till the 3-3 date, you're going to see that's 204 days, and that's 24. So we have 204, which becomes 24, and then right here, days left or day of the year being 89, which is the 24th prime. And again, that 89 also does tie into Satoshi Nakamoto by the code. You could see it right there. And if you want to save yourself some time, you just click on that number and you'll see 24th prime number. All right. So this is really important that you're seeing how this is all coming to fruition. As we get closer into the end of the month of March, I was anticipating this market to be pretty bullish. I was anticipating overall the month of March to be bullish just because we've had so much bearishness in the market, and they were hitting us with regulatory talk and war and all of these narratives. And what's going on in the, reality of the charts is things are looking bullish. Even with the dollar today showing strength, the DXY pumping, we're seeing how this all plays itself through the market realistically. So can make a couple more connections here. This 204 connection and this 24 coming back to the 89 being the 24th prime. The mirror of 24 is 42. So again, 24 is the zodiac logo of Jupiter. The mirror of 24 is 42. So this brings me to the 2nd of April, 4-2. Why this could be important is because you could see 207 days, that is 27, and that 27 again ties back to Jupiter. Jupiter by the code equals 27 in Chaldean. All right, so that's definitely something to take into consideration. And anytime we're talking about Jupiter, we're also talking about Saturn, like father, like son. Remember, Kronos and Zeus, it's the same, right? So this is very important that you learn your mythologies, especially for those of you out there that are into astrology, because a lot of people who are into astrology, they're typically just into tropical. They're not studying sidereal or Vedic, and they're not really too aware of mythologies, and that's where it all stems from anyways. So you could see the more knowledgeable an astrologer is about the mythologies, the more base knowledge they have and understanding they have to be able to provide you readings or just basic information regarding what they're seeing whilst they're looking at the charts. So with that being said, this 42 connection again comes back to Saturn by Gematria. I'll show you that in a moment, but we could see April as the 4th month, 2 day, that's the 42. And then we have Saturn here giving us that 42. All right. And why this is interesting is because this particular date is a Saturday, the day of Saturn. And if you type in Saturn day, you're also going to get that 27, just like I showed you right here, with that being 207 days apart, the 27. And we know, again, that 27, it ties back to Jupiter 27, and it also ties back to Ripple 27. And I've already exposed many times this connection between Ripple, XRP, and Jupiter, right? So this is also quite an interesting day because it's the transition into the 93rd day of the year. And again, 93 comes back to Saturn equaling 93. So very important. You know, this could be a very interesting day. And this is just 2 days shy of Satoshi Nakamoto's 47th birthday. And this 47 is really important because there's a huge connection here. Remember, we were talking about Shemitah, and we were also talking about how it's the Hebrew year 5782. Well, guess what? That gives you 47. Okay? So this 47, again, it's the 15th prime number, right? This all ties back to the Tiger, 15 Chaldean, and it also ties back to XRP, 15 Chaldean. But just 1 second, you see that 92? And you notice how this day, again, being the 92 day, the 4-2 date giving us 92, and this being on a Saturday, the day of Saturn, again, that 42 connecting back to Saturn by the code. And the Shemitah is all about the Sabbath year, the Saturn year. It's really fascinating how this is all tied together, and that 47 is a huge part of it because of that being tied to the number 15. And those of you that know Donut Factory, who is an incredible content creator artist, me and him have had an interview, and we're also going to be having another interview coming out soon. He's fascinated with that number 15 and 51, and he talks about it quite a bit. So definitely check out his channel. Shout outs to Donut. So final thoughts, you know, one other thing to be said about Satoshi Nakamoto's birthday. Of course, Satoshi isn't a fake individual. It's make-believe, but this is what it's all about. The avatars of this matrix are key players in a sense once you start to see things more esoterically. So I just want to kind of wrap this up real quick with this. This date of this being Satoshi Nakamoto's birthday, the 4-5 date. Of course, we know this ties back to Bitcoin because Bitcoin equaling that 45. And, you know, of course, Satoshi's birthday is 4-5. I mean, that's, of course, how they coded it all in. But this giving you 270 days left in the year. And, of course, that comes back to that 27 we were just talking about. Like Saturn day equals 27, like Jupiter equals 27, XRP or Ripple equals 27, etc. So, and remember, we were just talking about that 51 and 15 connection, right? To the year of the Tiger, Tiger equaling 15, and as above, so below. The two ways that I like to do my date numerology before reduction, giving you 51 and 15, just when I was talking about it before. So this is going to be an interesting day. Again, it's a Tuesday, day of Mars. I mean, wow. You know, you want to have your mind blown. 5115, this is the day of Mars, and Mars equals 51 and 15. So, I mean, it's just crazy. It's mind blowing. You know, it's really mind blowing. I'll give you guys one more mind blowing thing. You know, we were talking about that number 27. And how this leaves 270 days left in the year. We were talking about this 207 connection to the date of 4-2, that 42 connection to Saturn. I don't want to jump around too much. I know it's a lot of information. And again, for those of you that want to learn more about Gematria, the basics and how I utilize it, my course is on sale. It's within this mastermind course is where you get most of that Gematria information. So again, it's watersabovecrypto.com/redpill2022. And this will give you 20% off when you use this link. So that's where you're going to learn a lot of information about how I utilize Gematria with the mythologies and tie it all into the charts. This way you have a lot of confluence across the board, and you're going to see the more I explain it in my decodes, you're going to learn quite a bit in a very short amount of time. So one last 27 connection for you guys to wrap this all up. The 27th element on the periodic table is cobalt, right? And cobalt being the 27th element with an atomic mass of 58. So remember this 27 and 58. Well, Again, that 58 comes back to XRP, and the company behind XRP is Ripple, which gives you 27. So Cobalt is playing a huge role in all of this. And, there's definitely more decoding to be done in the background. Just the color scheme, this white and blue color scheme is something that's very popular in the Israel flag. And you're seeing it a lot behind all payment processors such as PayPal, Chase. It's amazing how many companies that deal with money use blue and white as their symbolism. So definitely check that out if you guys are more into decoding by the symbols and by the logos, which I definitely am. So I hope you guys enjoy this decode. We do know that this 58 connection to 27 is very important and how it all ties back to Jupiter. Remember, I told you Jupiter's zodiac logo is the 24, and Ripple's logo for XRP is the X, and X is the 24th letter in the English alphabet. Okay, so this early April seems like it's going to be wild. It's usually a very bullish month historically as we lead into May. You might have heard sell in May, walk away. In the US, we have our tax season moving into mid-April. Again, one final note about the month of April. We have a full moon somewhere around the 17th, which typically around a full moon is bearish. Typically around a new moon is bullish. Again, the new moon of April is on April 1st, which is April Fool's Day, but we don't have another new moon until April 30th, which is going to be an eclipse. So it's weird that the month will start with a new moon and end with a new moon. Again, new moons typically being bullish. So it's kind of making me think that a majority of the month of April is actually going to be really good for the market. I can't necessarily speak 100% for the performance of stocks, but by the code, crypto seems like it's going to do pretty well. So let's get into some of the TA. Of course, Bitcoin continuing to break out. It's been 7 straight days of green candles. Let's look at the weekly because that was what was most important. Also, you notice how silver is trading at $24 when we're talking about this 24 decode. So you can see a couple important things here. First, we have our 2 firmament domes. We've officially broken out of this second firmament dome, and now we've broken structure on weekly closes. You see this big green candle. It's secured closures above all these weekly levels and into this key resistance level that we had going back at the end of 2021. And we're closing above the 0.5 fib on the Fibonacci retracement tool when you're pulling from the swing high back in April 2021 down to the swing low here of June. So this is a very macro pattern. It's about 1 year in the making. Beautiful to see it happening. So let's run through some of the things. I'm going to turn off this drawing and I'm going to turn on the exponential moving averages. And we could see that we actually closed yesterday's candle for the first time above all these key moving averages, the 13, 21, and 34 for the first time going back since late November. So one thing to mention though, they're not in a bullish posture just yet. We want to see the blue above the orange, above the red, like we saw over here. You see how the blue is on top, the orange is in the middle, the red is at the bottom. Here they're in reverse, and it's because we're just getting out of a bullish, basically a backup phase. So we could talk about a couple things here. One, key weekly close over the 21 EMA, which is this orange moving average. It's a weekly chart. That's a big weekly close. 2, the MACD has flipped bullish on the histogram, flipped green. C, we have RSI on the weekly chart getting above 50, which is putting it more in bullish posture. So on the weekly chart, we're starting to see the remnants of a bullish reversal. And when we're looking at things based on structure, we have lows in the wicks, higher low in the wicks, higher low. And then we have essentially where that pattern is starting, high, higher high, and an official higher high, not only on wicks, but on closures. Okay, so this is very important. If you were to scan down the charts, you're going to see all of these things come to fruition on the 5-day, then they come to fruition on the 3-day. You could even see that the 13 and the 21 exponential are starting to coil up together, which means that this EMA band is going to probably flip bullish soon. Again, back tests are welcome. at any time, but that's just kind of part of how this goes. So with that being said, I mean, this is really an interesting setup we have here. We're definitely showing signs of strength, and we have tonight being a 3-day close. So if we can get tonight's close at these levels above 47K, that would be above all the key closes going back to pretty much the end of this most recent year. 2 days looking beautiful, and you see right there what I was talking about a little bit ago, where the blue is starting to get above everything. Well, that's bullish. So once this 21, this orange, gets slightly above the red, that will be in full bullish posture. We could see the 2-day RSI is getting above the 60 level, and obviously the MACD is bullish as well, starting to even get into positive territories whilst it was in the negatives down here. You could see it's breaking through that middle zone and more bullish control. RSI on the daily is definitely heating up a little bit, but we're at the stage in the bull run where we're kind of expecting like one last breath of air for relief in the market before any substantial pullbacks. And we're seeing RSI at 70. That's definitely clearing some of the RSI highs going back to earlier this year. That's great to see as well. And the EMA band is full on bullish right now. So last thing we can say is, what does our EMAs look like? And we have a little bit of something to consider right there. That is the 200 simple moving average, which is sitting around 48,300. Any daily closes above that level would be incredible, but we kind of need to take it slow. I do suspect that moving into Satoshi's birthday on the 5th, we might be seeing potentially even a 50K Bitcoin, but it would be nice to roll over just a little bit to chill out for a moment and then have one last little push up into the end of April. That would be much more structurally sound. But again, anything could happen in this market. We just have to take it for what it is. At the end of the day, this is just one of those stages where we're going to see altcoins do really well because of how bearish they've all been, losing 98% of their value plus. 90 to some losing even 98 to 99%. A majority of the blue chip cryptos have kind of kept that 80 to 85% losses, but still, that's pretty dramatic. Now, any suppressed altcoins are kind of ready to go. So that's where we can move into XRP after we do our ETH analysis. Anyways, with that being said, any daily closes today above the 47K level would be beautiful, and any back tests would probably come to 45K. 45K would be perfect because it would back test the highs of February, the highs of March, and also this 200 exponential moving average. So keep that in mind. That's pretty much your setup. Let's look at ETH getting close to 3,400. Did we break that today? Ooh, very close. All right, so you could see something very similar happening on the daily chart. We had our wolf cross where the 8 got above our 55. That's typically a key sign to go long. You could see right at that moment, we back tested the 8 simple moving average and then rallied up. So again, entries are really safe after those bullish wolf crosses. Whenever we get those wolf crosses, which I invented about a year or so ago, that's been very helpful for me with my trading, especially with my shorter term swing trades. With my longer term swing trades, I just look at anything that's oversold as a long opportunity, and anything that's overbought in like a 5-day or weekly chart is a good short opportunity. Again, I trade a lot less now since I'm so busy doing so many other things. I have different focuses in life, but I was a professional trader before I started my YouTube channel. That's why I had that base knowledge and ability to teach people so much about the technicals. So here we are. If this 8 crosses above that 200 exponential, that would be a key. That would be also a good backtest level, somewhere around 3,100 if we get rejected at the 200 simple right here at 3,500. So this is the start of a macro W breakout. You could see right here the first V and then the second V, and then within that second V, we actually have another W. So that's a really kind of weird pattern. You see it right here. This is a huge W if you were to look at it like on a line chart. Boom, boom, boom. And then if you were to look at it just based on this recent W, you have your neckline right here about 3,000. And I suspect we did confirm that back test, but could we go a little bit deeper on a rejection? Sure. I just think things are looking pretty bullish right now. We do have that wild card date of March 30th coming up in 2 days, so anything could happen. Again, don't get greedy if you've been in a long trade on ETH since 2,500 and you're seeing immense gains, especially for any leverage players out there. That's words of wisdom to anyone who's in Trading Wolves as well, the Patreon membership that we have. So again, we see that this is coming into a resistance around 3,400. That's that key level right there. I've brought that up many times that I would like to see ETH breaking up above this level. And then the next resistance level should be about 3,600, which is this prior support, which flipped, bearish once we broke down into the start of the new year. So Bitcoin's actually ahead of Ethereum, which is a good sign because it's showing you that that's very similar to how alt season breakouts happen. Bitcoin recovers, it gets strong. The altcoins lose. The altcoins slowly gain. There'll be random ones that pop off here and there, but the strength goes into Bitcoin. Bitcoin rallies. Then once Bitcoin rolls over, we see that liquidity flood into the alts. So that's a textbook setup. Let's finish this off on Ethereum. XRP, XRP trading at 88 cents, just as we were talking a little bit earlier about the 88th day in the year coming up very soon. That's beautiful. You could see the resistance is clear right there at 91 cents. So this is still coiling up. This really just needs to eventually pop. And we know when XRP pops, it'll move a lot in a single day. So that's kind of what we're waiting for here. I mean, really not much to say. It's because Bitcoin right now is running the show. And because the market cap on ETH is higher and it's ERC20, so there's a lot going on with that, it will slowly follow Bitcoin. But XRP tends to really do well after Bitcoin has bullish pumps and then any, rejections where the liquidity rolls over. And this is about the stage where, I would suspect we have $1 XRP early April. That's not a prediction. That's just based on the structure. That's based on what we've seen in the past. It's based on past monthly performance. When you look at the month of April and XRP, I would just suspect, probably $1, $2 would be the first surge level we get for XRP. And it could easily blast through those levels and move into 115 pretty quickly. So for now, if we're going to have any support, it's probably going to come in on a trend line, which I don't normally say, but it's just so obvious right here that we have this trend. So yeah, if we can hold, maybe back test that 702, I don't know. This is very, very slow and arduous breakout to the upside, but it is holding this trend now going back since like the start of March. So we're a full month now playing on this trend line. It's pretty solid. You could draw that in your chart if you'd like. Recovering over the 702 is great, but I wouldn't really get too happy until, again, we break that high of December 21st around $1.01 on a daily close. So until then, patience is key. We're like in the midst of a breakout for a couple of these more suppressed coins. Congrats to anyone who's in some of those plays like Zilliqa and Digibyte and some of those, Rune. That was one of the coins that we actually did a Red Pill podcast on. And then 3 days later, it broke out 250%. So it's amazing to do these podcasts every week and go over some of these coins. And the two coins that I was very bullish on that I don't hold, that I saw opportunity in, were Thorchain Rune and Ocean Protocol. And again, the day after we made our podcast talking about Ocean, that just kind of zoomed up. So I was like, wow, man, this alt season is sort of showing its face, and that's a beautiful thing to see. So again, we are running a sale on the course for the next 3 or 4 days. For those of you that want a discount, it'll be available just to celebrate our 1-year anniversary here. I appreciate every single one of you guys. Again, I'll be leaving the link to this in the description box and in the pinned comment below. I appreciate every single one of you. It's been a beautiful 1-year anniversary. Looking forward to many more. And again, make sure to write your red pill moment from 2021 in the comment section below. We would love to read those. Have a beautiful rest of your day in the Matrix. Much love.